What's going on, y'all? Welcome to another episode of the Geek Out Room podcast. Today, we're having a spoiler discussion about the Fantastic Four. Don't forget, you can find episodes of the podcast on YouTube, on the Sauceless Entertainment YouTube channel. You can also type in Geek Out Room podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and you'll find us there too. With that being said, let's get started. So, I really like this film. I did. And I know the age-old question right now is it better than Superman? I think you can enjoy both. I will say, for the first time in a decade, I liked a DC movie over a Marvel movie when it came out like basically the same time. I think Superman was the better film and a more fun film for me. Well, but again, that's just me. With that being said, I really liked the Fantastic Four movie. I liked Pedro Pascal's performance. I think that he was the second best actor in this. I think that Vanessa Kirby, Sue Storm, was phenomenal. I think she did a great job. I think she really captured the essence of being a mother, being a wife, being a sister, being a best friend. Like she was fun. There was funny moments, like the moment where she kind of like went invisible, and then she appeared on the bed and scared like Johnny and Ben. I think like moments like that's funny. The moment where she kind of snaps at Reed because she realizes Reed wants to use Franklin as bait and she kind of snaps and turns invisible. That's really cool. The birthing scene was cool. Like there are so many moments in this film where when the camera was on her and they allowed her to do her thing, she shined. She had presence. She had gravity. I liked it. I really did. Pedro Pascal as Reed. I Is he the best Reed? I don't know. I really don't. I liked his performance. I just don't know if it's my favorite Reed Richards, but I like the performance. I think there's a lot to grow, and it's not even about his performance per se. It's more of the writing. As I'll talk about when I get to negatives, I think there is a huge problem with the writing in this film, but we'll get to that in a second. I know people are going to say that the Thing took a backseat in this film, and he did, but I think it was very important to establish the four of them as a family, the four of them as a team. Reed and Sue, their relationship really mattered because a lot, again, and we'll talk about the negatives, a lot of the fights that they had were a positive and a negative, but the fights that they had were really important. Like the relationship was super important, so you gotta focus on them. Again, great first, no pun intended, first step for this Fantastic Four in the MCU. I think that it's okay to have a decent movie to start your trilogy or wherever you want, however many films you want to make, as long as you continue to build upon it. If they continue to build upon this film, we're going to get some great stuff. So I really like that. Johnny Storm, Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm. He was cool. I liked how they wrote Johnny Storm in this film. I like that they gave him a lot to do instead of just being like a daredevil and like chasing after women and doing all this stuff. Like I think they made him a very important and a character where I already see the play. I can see him making a sacrifice in the future. Don't know which film, but I can see it. And they build it up very well. Like they build up Johnny Storm very well in this film. And I'm super excited for his future. I still am not a huge fan of the look. There are some scenes where he just looked real weird. The contacts too, like it just looked really weird. Maybe because I know that he doesn't have blue eyes in real life. But it just sometimes the haircut and the eyes just looked out of place sometimes. Especially the end where Sue died, he was crying. It just didn't look right. It's something about when the camera was on him looked really weird. But maybe that's just me. So there's a lot of great stuff, super entertaining. Silver Surfer. I'm indifferent between this version and one from Chris Evans' movies. I think they're both great. I think you could interchange. Like it didn't matter which one was in this film. You would have got the same result because the relationship between Johnny and Silver Surfer in this film wasn't like a romantic one. Wasn't like he was flirting and she started liking him and they started building that kind of rapport. And then she kind of made that sacrifice or that play because of her respect / growing feelings for him. he just played on the family angle, and I feel like you could have put literally any character as a Silver Surfer with the same story, and you would have got the same result, in my opinion. So that's what that is. I think obviously CGI wise, or like it just looked way better, obviously, and the scenes like the one she was surfing on the lava was super cool. The chase sequence from Galactus' ship to the black hole was really cool. Silver Surfer coming to Earth and destroying the portal things were super cool. Like when Silver Surfer in this film, it was really dope, really cool, really liked it. So I think those are all my positives. Like again, a very solid film. I like the interaction between the Fantastic Four and the public. I really like that kind of world building. I really like that one. So because some superhero movies don't do that, and it really sucks. So I like seeing when the superheroes interact with the public and do good and for the public, and you kind of develop that rapport because it's very important, especially for superheroes that are like public figures like that. So that's really cool. To the negatives, nothing so negative that I couldn't enjoy the movie. Nothing I don't feel like they could fix or build upon. But some of the negatives, starting with Galactus, I just didn't feel presence from him. I didn't feel menace from him. I just felt like he was comic accurate looking, but that's it. I just feel like not that it could have been any other villain, because obviously this is Galactus specific, but like if you gave any other character Galactus' problem about like hunger, you could have replaced Galactus with any other person. You could have made up a character, had the same problems as Galactus in this film, and then had that character in here instead of Galactus. And that's an issue. That's a huge issue. So I just feel like they could have done a lot more with him. Again, Galactus is super OP. So I feel like they had a problem with that, like how to write that and balance that. And because of that, I think a lot of issues suffered from stemming from that. Like, I think that Reed is too smart to not have found a better way to distract Galactus and swap out Franklin. I think that was so dumb. I'm sorry. I thought it was so silly and dumb to like blind Galactus and then swap him out. Because like of course Galactus was going to see the kid was in the Baxter building. He damn near hit like X-ray echolocation vision or whatever he was using to locate Franklin. Like come on, man. Like come on. At that point, especially the way they pushed him into the portal, they might as well have had used Storm. I think she was knocked out maybe or something by the time. But like they should have just used her to knock him into the thing. He was like right there at that point. Like same concept, just different time. So that was kind of just dumb to me. That was just super dumb to me. I'm sorry. I cannot stand that. That was so dumb. I like that Johnny, again, because I have to build him. I know I'm supposed to be on negatives, but something I did remember. John's going to sacrifice himself. I like that. Again, I think they did a phenomenal job writing Johnny Storm and utilizing him in this film. And I really appreciate that. Going back to negatives, yeah, Galactus was a huge negative to me. Didn't feel presence. He felt kind of boring to me. I didn't really care, to be honest. I really didn't care. It's one thing to write stakes. Anyone can write stakes. But to make your audience feel the stakes is really important and very difficult to do. It's very difficult. And I don't think they did a good job doing that. And I think they can do that better going forward with villains that aren't like godlike like Galactus. Villains they can find that's more feasible to beat and it's just more on their level. I think they could do some of the fights between Sue and Reed were there. My biggest problem with it, they have this scene where they're like speaking in the cold. They have Franklin like in they have Franklin there. They're in the cold because Sue like kind of had a speech and whatnot. I just felt like it came out of nowhere. It just felt so weird. I feel they could have built upon some of the stuff for future movies. They don't have to resolve everything in one movie. Like they're like, because Sue has a moment where she's like yelling at Reed about like I think she either says there's a part of Reed that she hates or that scares her or something like that. That's something that can develop tension going forward, especially when you introduce characters like Doctor Doom and a character that's already been introduced in the MCU, Namor. Like there's characters where that side of Reed that Sue dislikes or is scared of or whatever, like that side of him is something that could play a huge wedge, not to break them up or anything, but just cause more tension and and bring maybe some type of stakes in the future in the MCU for these characters. And I just feel like, and again, they could easily do that going forward. So it's not like they closed the door on it, but I'm saying like some stuff felt so abrupt in this film, and one of them was them fighting. It always felt really weird and disjointed and unrealistic sometimes. So that's just me there. And sometimes you could also tell the CGI was kind of weird. There was a scene in particular where in the green screen, like there's a scene in particular. Oh man, I forgot which one it was. I think it was one point where the thing was on camera, and I forgot if he was talking to that woman with the red hair, or it was some other scene. But it was so like he didn't look finished. Like it didn't look finished to me. It looked really weird. It took me out for a second. Like it looked super off and weird to me. Outside of that, it looked great. Everything looked great. I think another negative. No, I think those are the two biggest negatives for me was that. Again, Johnny's look was kind of off to me. It felt he just look wise just didn't. I don't know. He just looked off to me. Like the blue contacts and the hair just looked. The haircut gotta go. They gotta get a better haircut because that haircut looked horrendous. I'm sorry. It just looked really silly with the contacts. So there's that. But a lot to build on. A lot to look forward to. I'm super excited for these characters. This is definitely a movie that I liked. I don't know if I would necessarily keep rewatch it again per se, because again, someone really said to me, which one would you rewatch, Superman or this film? This film felt good. This film felt self-contained, and I really liked it. I would rewatch Superman though. Superman just to me was a more fun watch than this one, and I liked to have the characters interacted more in Superman than this one. With that being said, this film is a great direction for Marvel, a great direction for these characters. I'm looking forward to Doomsday. I'm looking forward to a sequel. I wish they did another negative. I wish they didn't do that post-credit scene in Thunderbolts because I was anticipating and waiting to see why would they go on that ship, what would happen. We never got that, and I just think that was a disservice to this film. I feel like it set up some crazy expectation for this film that never happened because we all thought that, oh, this means that they couldn't save the world, and it was something that was going to be really dreadful but super awesome to probably see, and that didn't happen. And I could be the only one who thought that, but I just felt like, damn, I really wish Thunderbolts didn't do that. I wish we just never saw that. I just feel like it's just set up something for this film we just did not get, and it was that's part of again with Galactus. I was like, oh, Galactus is gonna be so menacing. He's gonna win, and he's going to destroy their planet or eat the planet or whatever or they just couldn't save him, so they're going to go on the ship. And I thought that at first because there's a moment where Sue's telling the public yo, we're all family. You're a family to us, but don't get me fucked up. I'm gonna save my son. My real family is here. You know what I mean? And we have a ship y'all don't. So I don't really know what kind of timing y'all thought it was. We're the only heroes in this joint. You're not about none of you about to touch us, bro. You know what I mean? So Sue's gangster. Like I said, Sue is super gangster in this film. But yeah, so I thought they're gonna leave. And also a moment that I don't know if anyone else felt this because they teased Doctor Doom a little bit with the UN thing of Latveria not being there. There's a moment where they're like, hey, everyone around the world has to participate and cut off their power for a couple of seconds. And I honestly thought I was going to fail because I thought Doctor Doom was like, fuck your plan and fuck y'all. I'm not turning off no power. Y'all got me fucked up. We're not participating in this. Our country declines. I thought it was going to happen. Didn't. I thought, and when the little beeps start happening, I thought I was like, oh, Doctor Doom said, nah, he messed up their whole plan. That's crazy. But it was just a Silver Surfer, which was still a cool scene. And I think that Times Square and Johnny using that was a super dope scene. I'm not mad about that. But, I just thought Doctor Doom was going to be part of it. And in ways like that would have been interesting. He didn't have to show him, but his presence was felt because he just had his own way of doing things, which would have been interesting. But with that being said, let me know what y'all thought about the Fantastic Four movie. Again, I think it was super fun. I liked all the characters. I think people brought it, but Vanessa Kirby, to me, was the best performance out of this. And she really, really did her thing. and I just thought it was really, really, really well done. And I'm super excited to see the future. I hope they bring back Galactus and Silver Surfer. I don't know how they're going to get the MCU. I kind of, it's one of those things where like the anticipation, I guess, like I don't know, the hype's not as there for me for Doomsday yet, because I just thought this movie was going to deliver and show something crazy, and that's why they got on that ship, and that's why I wish I didn't even see that, because and this is a me problem. It just made me have an expectation that I was going to see something very different for the end, and then just to see just to see the way they got rid of Galactus was just so silly to me. I'm sorry. That whole last thing was just so fucking silly. So that's probably kind of why it was super dumb to me. But besides that, I like the sequences. I thought it was really dope, and I think it's gonna be really fun seeing this. And Franklin is gonna be a problem in the future for villains, because he's gonna be one of them ones. But don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. See you on the next one. Peace.